Yes. Yes. So we are creating multiple build pipelines and multiple release pipelines. Okay, everything is separate. If you want to build a solution, the build pipeline is separate. If I go to recent, and if I want to release it to Azure portal or local portal, then the pipeline is different. Okay, both build and release are different. So when I am deploying to local, okay, when I am deploying to local, I am selecting the deployment group. Okay, now considering environments, I have already told you environments is especially designed to use in YAML pipelines. Okay, before knowing environments, first we should know what is YAML. If you have already created Azure DevOps account and when you try to create new pipeline, the first option they will give you is YAML. See YAML, everything is YAML. So earlier the first option used to be classic editor, but now the first option is YAML. What is YAML? Okay, YAML, YAML.org. So YAML full form is YAML ain't markup language. Okay, YAML full form lo kuda malli YAML undi. Okay na? YAML ain't markup language. So but there are some engineers, sorry guys. There are some engineers who will call this as yet another markup language. Okay, yet YAML, right? Yet okay, people used to call this as yet another markup language. So if I'm not wrong, yeah. See, okay, people used to call this as why? Because yet another markup language. So how many of you know what is markup language? మనం డైలీ మన ప్రపంచంలో యాజ్ ఎ డెవాప్స్ ఇంజనీర్ whatever we are working, everything is directly connected to one markup language. What is that markup language? ఎప్పుడైనా
HTML is markup language.
Yes, HTML is a markup language. See here. HTML full form, hypertext markup language. So what is markup language? So markup language is kind of a serialization language. Okay, serialization language. Again, what is serialization? ఇలా చెప్పుకుంటూ పోతే చాలా లాంగ్ అవుతుంది. So I will make it simple. See, any language which will help you to automate things by simple instructions. Okay, any language which will help you to automate things by simple syntax, by simple instructions. Even the code used to be very simple. A common man, a normal software engineer can understand this language. So if you want to create a web page, okay, if you want to create a web page, which will show you like this is my website. So I can create that. I can create that web page with simple 4 lines language. Let me give you some scenario. Okay. HTML. Then head. Okay. Then body. Okay. Before that, not head. Let me ring this H1. This is my website. Okay. Then H1. Wait a second. Kind of P1. Wait a minute. P1. This website was created in Notepad. Simple. They are. Sorry guys. Typing would a mistake అవుతుంది ఈరోజు. Body is done. Then HTML also done. Wait a second. This should be backslash. Backslash. Backslash kada. No, that is not backslash. Sorry guys, కొంచెం కన్ఫ్యూజింగ్ ఉంది. నేను HTML కోడ్ రాసి చాలా కాలం అయింది. So that is HTML. Then finally closing that HTML tag. These are called tags. Guys, please go on mute if you are not speaking. Okay. So this is my just page. So I will save this as, okay, save as my page.html. Okay. I am saving this in documents, my page.html. All files save. Close. Okay. Now if I go to documents, let's see the format of the page. See, when I save it as my page.html, that is went to Chrome HTML document. Why it went to Chrome HTML document? Because for HTML documents, my default application was Chrome. Now if I click on this, right click, open. So where it is opening? See, నేను ఏం రాశాను, నాకు ఇక్కడ ఏం కనపడుతుంది. This is my website. This website was created in Notepad. ఈ వెబ్సైట్ నోట్ప్యాడ్ లో క్రియేట్ అయింది. చాలా సింపుల్, చూసారా? So if you remember, give me a minute. So if I go this and if I open with Notepad, చాలా సింపుల్ లాంగ్వేజ్, ఒక 4-5 లైన్స్ లాంగ్వేజ్. నేను దీని ఒక వెబ్సైట్ క్రియేట్ చేశాను. Now the website is opened in browser. So this is my website. This website was created in Notepad. This is all about markup language. Markup language will help you to make things easy with simple instructions or simple syntax. Okay. So the same way, engineers invented some other language called YAML, which is used in automating things in our DevOps practice. See, HTML is common language. People are using this for different purposes, but YAML is specially designed for DevOps purpose. So why DevOps purpose? Because now today, if you consider DevOps tools, most of the tools are using YAML. Most of the tools. You just name me the tool. Azure DevOps, Jenkins, Docker, Kubernetes, Ansible, Chef. Any tool, whatever tool you take as a DevOps tool, every DevOps tool using YAML language. So see, even you can see, I told you, right? Markup language is some kind of serialization language. Here you can see, YAML is a human-friendly data serialization language. YAML is a human-friendly data serialization language for all programming languages. What is serialization? Okay, what is serialization? Serialization is nothing but whatever steps you wanted to perform, those all steps to be in an order. If you change the order, it will go wrong. If you change the order, it will go wrong. Okay. So if you want to know more about YAML, just to go through this website and you have some syntaxes available here. So everything about YAML is available on this website. You click on this website, it will take you to github.com, where within GitHub, YAML has its own separate page. So this is YAML separate page. Inside this YAML, you will get YAML specifications for Python, YAML specifications for libraries, YAML references, YAML specs. Everything you will have in this page. So if you want to know more about YAML, you can go through this YAML page in GitHub when you have free time. But in general, so YAML has a syntax. How if I'm not wrong, yeah, this is open. So this is HTML syntax. In the same way, YAML also has its own syntax. How the syntax goes? Let me show you in VS Code. So this is Visual Studio Code, which is a free tool available openly in the market. Anybody can go to the website and download this VS Code. VS Code is the best suitable editor. Okay, VS Code is the best suitable editor for writing or creating YAML files. Okay, for writing or creating YAML files. Now I will show you why I am saying YAML is the best tool. Even that also I need to tell you. Why? Because I wanted every one of you to use VS Code for any your programming. If you want to write YAML file or markdown file, anything, you need to use VS Code. VS Code is the best source. Now if I go for new file, if I go for new file, if I just save this as first file, okay, first file. It will not show me any kind of icons or models on the file name. Why? Because I just saved this as first file. So the moment if I change this as, just a second, guys. So why my system was slow? Rename .md. See the icon changed. You can observe this. See the icon changed. So first file .md, the icon changed. Then if I go with, see the icon changed. Then I go with JS. See the icon changed. JSON, the icon changed. VS Code will help you what kind of file that you are going to create, what is the code you are going to write inside this file. So now coming to YAML, YAML has its own extensions, either YAML or YML. Both are accepted in YAML files. You can give YAML or YML. But better understanding, I always prefer YAML. I always prefer YAML because we are going to write this code in YAML language. You know, this is YAML. So the YAML pipeline has its own syntax. Now we need to know how to write YAML pipeline. Why? Because we are using this YAML in Azure pipelines. We are using this YAML in Azure pipelines. So the first syntax, I will give you the basic syntax. First it will be trigger. How you want to trigger this pipeline? So you need to give the branch names. In our case, it may be main or master. Okay. Then pool you want to use. Okay. Which pool you want to use? Name. So what is the pool name? Azure pipelines. Then VM image. So I will go with Windows latest. Okay. So these are strings, guys. When it is a string, you need to give in quotes. So then what is string again? It all goes to data types. So you should know the data types. How many of you know data types? Anybody can answer me? How many of you know data types? See, one thing I'm telling you.
Okay.
Yeah, sorry. Someone try to answer.
Yeah, I don't know.
Sorry.
Don't know, Rajesh.
Okay. See, at the end of the day, we all are software engineers. So when you say that you are a software engineer, you should know some basic concepts. Either you can be a developer, tester, administrator, deployment engineer, DevOps engineer, anything, but you should know some basics of software. There are basics for software industry, like data types, file types, what is programming language, what is scripting, what is coding. These are generic ones. So data types means the type of the data. Let's say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. What are these? These are numbers. Numbers comes under integer data type. Now have some names. Ramu, Raju, Vishwar, Shiva, Venkat. These are names. So this comes under string data type. String means alphabets. A string can be alphabet or something. So you have some question. For that question, there are two answers. True or false or yes or no. So when they have only two answers, when there are only two options or two values, the data type is called Boolean. Okay, Boolean, Boolean data type. Yes or no, true or false, 0 or 1, binary values, right? There will be only two values, either 0 or 1. Okay, 0 means success, 1 means failure. Remember this, guys. Some of the DevOps tools, they will give you result code in binary values, 0 or 1. Always remember 0 means not failure, 0 means success, 1 means failure. చాలా మంది కన్ఫ్యూజ్ అవుతుంటారు బైనరీ వాల్యూస్ లో. బూలియన్ టైప్ లో బైనరీ వాల్యూస్ వాడుతున్నారు అంటే 0 మీన్స్ సక్సెస్, 1 మీన్స్ ఫెయిల్యూర్. ఈ థింగ్ మీకు చాలా చోట్ల పనికొస్తుంది. రిజల్ట్ 0 అంటే సక్సెస్, రిజల్ట్ 1 అంటే ఫెయిల్యూర్. ఓకేనా? Let me show you something with an example. Sorry. So if you remember some of the pipelines, if you let me show you, there are some pipelines. Let me. Okay, not here. Something when it comes, I will show you something. Why? Because PowerShell script, when it fails, it will display something like the exit code is 1 or 0. Sometimes it will display the exit code is 1 or 0. I'm just trying to. Okay, it's not a problem. So let's continue our thing. Okay, the binary values, 0 means success, 1 means failure. Just remember this one. Okay, these are actual data types. There are many data types: stack, array, string, boolean, integer, variable. There are many data types. If you have time, just go through. Where are we? Yeah. So this is YAML syntax. Now we have trigger and we have the pool name. Now comes the actual job. Inside the job, you will have tasks. Task 1, then task 2. This is how YAML pipeline will have. Now let me show you a sample pipeline by creating. Okay, now I will create a new pipeline. So I have told you the syntax, right? Just understand the syntax. And inside this task, guys. So within this task, what I can have a script, so which I wanted to run. Okay. Remember, even when I am typing, so I'm coming to the next line and I'm giving some space, then I'm entering some name, then I'm giving some space. Why I'm doing all that, I will explain you in a minute. So now let me create a sample YAML pipeline. Okay. I'm just repeating the same task, guys. What I'm doing. So I'm in pipeline section. I'm creating a new pipeline. See, earlier we used to go with classic editor. No, now I'm going with YAML. Okay, YAML. So where is your repository? So this is my repository. So do you have any existing YAML file? No, I want to go with starter. First time I am writing this YAML file. So I will go with starter pipeline. So by default, Azure repos, Azure pipelines will give you one sample pipeline. So this is kind of starter pipeline. See, starter pipeline. So if you want to know more about YAML, you can go to this website. See, I told you, right? First one will be trigger, then pool, okay, then pool, then steps. So where are these steps? Actually, these steps comes under job only. Now, okay, compare with classic pipeline. I want you to compare with classic also. Then only you will understand the differences. Okay. See, edit. See, so leave about this pipeline. Why? Because as this is classic pipeline, we have some name, some pools available here. But the first one is trigger. So how you are going to trigger this pipeline? So this is the repository and this is the branch. The same we are giving here, right? So the repository already selected here. Okay, repo sample and the master branch. So I can change this branch name based on the branches available. I have many branches available here. So okay, I have many branches, but I want to make this on master branch. Okay, master branch pool. So if I want to specify a specific pool, if I have multiple pools, see here, if you have multiple pools, I can specify the name. But by default, YAML will consider Azure Pipelines pool only. Here I have written that Azure Pipelines pool. Okay. Then steps, right? So these are the steps. There is a job. Under the job, there are some tasks. Here you can see there is a job. Under the job, there are some tasks. Okay. Now what I will do for time being, let me save this file, save. Okay, where this is saved, sample2. Wait a minute. This is here, okay? ADO practice sample2. Now, this is sample pipeline, right? No, before that, yeah. So this is sample pipeline. What are they doing? They have some steps. Within the steps, they are running some script. Okay, this is one script and this is another script. Now let's save this. Okay, let's save this. I want to rename this. This is not Azure Pipelines. I first YAML pipeline. Okay. See, they prefer YML, but I prefer YAML. Even you can change this to YAML as well. YAML. Why I prefer YAML? Because it's easy to understand. As you are new to YAML, if I give you YML, you can't understand. Okay, so I can change this to YAML also. Now let's save. Don't run, just save. Set up CI with Azure pipelines. Commit directly to master branch. What is this commit? When I am creating a pipeline, why it is considering as a commit? Now, this question to everyone. So I have this pipeline, guys. Okay, I have this pipeline. This is successfully running. Okay, I have this pipeline. This is successfully running. Now I want to give this complete pipeline. Just a second, guys. Now I want to give this complete pipeline to my another team member. How can I give this pipeline to another team member? Is it possible? నేను ఒక పైప్లైన్ క్రియేట్ చేశాను. ఇది సక్సెస్ఫుల్గా రన్ అవుతుంది. So as this is running successfully, I just want to pass on this pipeline to my team member. Hey man, no need to create any pipeline. Already my pipeline is really working fine. You just copy paste this pipeline into your project. Is it possible? So this is not possible. This is not possible. Why? Because this is created in classic. If I'm not wrong, this is not classic. This is YAML. I can see YAML here. So if I go with some classic pipeline, there are some pipelines. Okay. This is classic pipeline. This is classic pipeline. If I want to pass on this classic pipeline to my other team members, there is no option. There is no option and I cannot see. Why? Because inside this, there are some steps which are involved in task groups. You see this is task group sample. So we have seen this pipeline in task group. There are many steps. There are many steps and there are many activities that are there in this pipeline. So I can't give this pipeline and even I can't explain him. You need to take this sample repo from GitHub. You need to add this task group, everything. But there is a feature available in Azure pipelines. You can export this pipeline. Okay, you can export this pipeline. See, export this pipeline either to JSON or YAML. Either to JSON or YAML. So what is this JSON? What is this YAML? So Azure pipeline supports both JSON format and YAML format. So if you want to create any pipelines, you can export the pipelines in JSON or YAML and you can import these pipelines. Now let's show you. So I will export this to YAML. It will download me a file. See here it is downloaded. Now show in folder. So when I export this pipeline, it is giving me some file. So what is this file? Let me open this file. So I will open this with VS Code only. See, it is directly giving me the jobs. It is giving me directly. So what is the job I am doing here? So there is a job with agent job 1 and that is running on Windows 2019 and it is a self checkout PowerShell task. The script file is PS script. Now if you see the pipeline, let's go to edit mode. Edit. See, this is agent job 1. Am I right? Let's minimize this. So this is agent job 1, right? So here you can see agent job 1. And that is running on Windows 2019. Here you can see it is running on Windows 2019. Okay. Then what is the task? See the task. So check out self. Self in the sense we are in master. So we need to take the code from master branch. Checkout self. Then the task is PowerShell task. Yes, this is PowerShell task. Inside the PowerShell task, I am running a script to psscript.ps1. See, file path is psscript.ps1. So now this entire pipeline is downloaded as a single file. Download as a single file. Now, if I want to create a new pipeline, it's a new pipeline. Where is that pipeline? That pipeline is in YAML format. So when I go for YAML, repose sample, it is asking me, do you have the YAML file ready? Yes, I have the YAML file ready, but that is in my local. So for that, what we need to do? First, we need to upload to the repository. So what I will do, I will upload it to another repository. Now that is in repose sample, right? That is in repose sample. What I will do, whatever I downloaded as a YAML file, I will upload it to some second repo. Okay, second repo, master branch. Okay, second repo has some valid code. Let me do import repo. Yeah, import repo. So this is also a valid code. Just give a minute, guys. I want something which has sample repo. Yeah, so there is no file at all. Now what I will do, I will initialize a new file. Okay, I will initialize. Then I will upload the file here. Upload. So I have the file in my local downloads. Sorry guys. So I have the file in my downloads. Okay, see this YAML file. Okay, I am uploading to here. So commit. I committed the change here. Now if I go to pipelines, while creating the pipeline, new pipeline, Azure repos. So where is that YAML file we uploaded? That is in sample repos. So are you going with new pipeline or existing pipeline? Yes, there is a pipeline already there in a YAML format in my repository. What is the path? See, here is the path. Continue. See, the pipeline came here. Whatever pipeline. So now this pipeline will run, but it will fail. Why? Because in this repository, there is no file with PS script file. Let me just run this file. Okay, let me just run. Obviously, this will fail. See, this pipeline got failed. Why? Because there is no file in this repository. A path to PS1 file is required. There is no file. See, but the pipeline is successfully ran. It's failed because there is no file with this name in this repository. In this repository, there is no file. Now you tell me, so we had a pipeline which is a classic pipeline. Sorry, here itself. So we had a pipeline in some other repository. Sorry. So here if I go. This is the pipeline, which is a classic pipeline. So I exported that as YAML and I created new pipeline without doing anything. నేను repository select చేయలేదు, నేను job add చేయలేదు, nothing. I just selected the YAML file which is uploaded to the repository. So is this easy or difficult to create new pipelines if you have YAML pipeline ready? Guys, I want your answer here. YAML file మన దగ్గర రెడీగా ఉంటే పైప్లైన్స్ క్రియేట్ చేయడం ఈజీనా కష్టమా?
Easy.
సో ఈజీ ఎప్పుడు ఈజీ? Guys, go on
YAML
mute.
pipelines ready గా.
See, క్లాసిక్ పైప్లైన్ ఉన్నా సరే దాన్ని YAML గా కన్వర్ట్ చేసి న్యూ పైప్లైన్ క్రియేట్ చేయడం ఈజీ. లేదా మనమే ఒక కొత్త పైప్లైన్ క్రియేట్ చేస్తే ఆ పైప్లైన్ ఇక్కడ కమిట్ ఎందుకు వస్తుంది ఇప్పుడు అర్థమైందా? సో ఎందుకంటే మనం క్రియేట్ చేసే ప్రతి ఒక్క పైప్లైన్ ఒక ఫైల్ లాగా మన రెపోలో యాడ్ అవుతుంది. మనం క్రియేట్ చేసే ప్రతి ఒక్క YAML పైప్లైన్ అది ఒక ఫైల్ లాగా మన రెపోలో యాడ్ అవుతుంది. సో దట్ ఇన్ ఫ్యూచర్ ఇఫ్ యూ వాంట్ టు షేర్ యువర్ పైప్లైన్ విత్ అదర్ పీపుల్ యూ కెన్ జస్ట్ షేర్ ద ఫైల్. You no need to share the pipeline. So if you want to share with your pipeline with any other people, you can just share the file, not the entire pipeline. That's the reason whenever you create any YAML pipeline, that YAML pipeline will be added as a file to your repository. Now if I go for save, see, ఈ pipeline create అయింది కానీ రన్ అవ్వలేదు. But if I go to the repository, మనం పైప్లైన్ క్రియేట్ చేసేప్పుడు ఫైల్ నేమ్ ఏమి ఇచ్చాము గుర్తుందా? మై ఫస్ట్ YAML పైప్లైన్ అని ఇచ్చాను లేదా మై ఫస్ట్ పైప్లైన్ అని ఇచ్చాను. సో ఇఫ్ ఐ గో టు repo sample in master branch, okay, in master branch, see this. నేను పైప్లైన్ క్రియేట్ చేశాను కానీ ఆ పైప్లైన్ ఒక ఫైల్ లాగా వచ్చి నా రెపోలో పడింది. ఇవే నా స్టెప్స్. సో దిస్ ఈస్ ద బెస్ట్ పార్ట్ ఆఫ్ YAML. When you are creating YAML pipelines, you are nothing but creating a file with all your pipeline instructions and the file will be saved to your repository. Now you tell me, if tomorrow somebody wanted to create a pipeline, so whenever they want to create a pipeline, first thing what they will do, they will ask you code. Am I right? సో ఎప్పుడైతే మీరు పైప్లైన్ క్రియేట్ చేయాలనుకుంటారో ఫస్ట్ మీకు రెపాజిటరీ కావాలి, అందులో కోడ్ కావాలి. సో నేను మీకు కోడ్తో పాటు పైప్లైన్ కూడా ఇచ్చేస్తే మీకు అప్పుడు పైప్లైన్ క్రియేట్ చేయడం ఎంత ఈజీ? చాలా ఈజీ. సో దట్ ఈస్ ద బెస్ట్ పార్ట్ ఆఫ్ YAML. సో వై పీపుల్ ప్రిఫర్ YAML pipelines? Because every YAML pipeline will be saved as a file within your repository. If tomorrow someone clones your repository, now let me show you another thing. So I am a new engineer joined in this team. Okay, I will end this session by giving some instructions to you. So I am a new engineer. Assume this is my new computer. Okay, this is my new computer. Okay, let me go to different folder. Yeah, I will go to this folder. Okay, ADO agent. There is something, not a problem. What I will do, I will go to the direct. Okay, Git bash also not working. Even my system hangs when I work on evenings. Yeah, clear. Yeah, okay, clear. సో నేను ఇప్పుడు ఏ ఫోల్డర్లో ఉన్నానో తెలుసుకోవడం ఎట్లా? గైస్ ప్లీజ్ ఆన్సర్. నేను ఇప్పుడు ఏ ఫోల్డర్లో ఉన్నానో తెలుసుకోవడం ఎట్లా? గిట్ బ్యాష్ యూజ్ చేస్తున్నారా? కమాండ్స్ ప్రాక్టీస్ చేస్తున్నారా? మ్యూట్ గైస్, బాగా డిస్టర్బెన్స్ ఉంది. PWD. సో నో ఐ యామ్ ఇన్ C drive users folder Ranjit, but I want to move to this folder. How can I move? నేను ఇప్పుడు ఈ ఫోల్డర్లోకి రావాలి ఎలా? వాట్ ఆర్ ద కమాండ్స్?
CD change directory.
Okay, Next. Okay. Now I am into E drive. See, now I am into E drive. After E drive, ADO agent folder. CD ADO underscore CADO agent folder. Done. So now I am into E drive ADO agent folder. So I'm a new engineer. Okay, I'm a new engineer joined this team. Someone asked me to create a pipeline. Someone asked me to create a pipeline. So before creating a pipeline, they asked me to modify something in this file. So ఈ PS script లో ఏదో స్క్రిప్ట్ ఉంది. సో ఇక్కడ సెకండ్ లైన్ రాంగ్ లైన్, ఆ రాంగ్ లైన్ తీసేయమన్నారు. So what I will do, I need to clone this repository to local to work on this. So I can't work on this portal, I need to clone. What I will do, I will go for git clone. So here I have clone option, copy, then Control C, Control V. Can I do that?
No.
So git bash will not accept Control C, Control V. You need to use mouse. Right click copy, right click paste. So now I am getting all the code to this folder. See? సో జనరల్గా యాజ్ ఇంజనీర్ నా మైండ్ ఆఫ్ వ్యూ ఎలా ఉంటుందంటే నేను కోడ్ను కంప్లీట్గా తెచ్చుకుంటున్నాను ఈ ఫోల్డర్లోకి. కానీ ద బెస్ట్ థింగ్ విత్ YAML ఈజ్ యువర్ వర్క్ ఈజ్ టు క్రియేట్ ఎ పైప్ లైన్, బట్ దెర్ ఇస్ ఎ పైప్ లైన్ ఆల్రెడీ క్రియేటెడ్. మీరు అది చూడంగానే హ్యాపీగా ఫీల్ అవ్వచ్చు. అరే నన్ను మా మేనేజర్ YAML సంథింగ్ వాట్ ఎవర్ ఇట్ మేబీ నన్ను ఒక పైప్ లైన్ క్రియేట్ చేయమన్నాడు. సో YAML ఫైల్ ఉందంటే పైప్ లైన్ క్రియేట్ చేయడం ఈజీ. జాబ్ ఏంటి, టాస్క్ ఏంటి, టెన్షన్ పడాల్సిన అవసరమే లేదు. YAML పైప్ లైన్ రెడీగా ఉంది నా దగ్గర. YAML ఫైల్ రెడీగా ఉంది. సో వెన్ YAML ఫైల్ ఈజ్ రెడీ, ఇట్స్ ఈజీ ఫర్ యూ టు క్రియేట్ ద పైప్ లైన్. Very easy. Why? Because YAML file is nothing but complete set of instructions what you need to run in your pipeline. And it's easy when you go to create a pipeline. So now if I go for create a pipeline, if I go for create a pipeline. So what is the repo? Azure repo. See, the same YAML file can be in GitHub, in Bitbucket, in other Gits. Okay. Now my YAML file was in Azure repos. What is the repo name? Repo sample. And do I have YAML pipeline already or do I need to create start? See, select an Azure pipelines YAML file in any branch of the repository or start with a minimal pipeline that you can customize later. Now I have already the YAML pipeline. Why? Because I verified here. When I clone the repository, I see a pipeline readily available. So the pipeline name is my first pipeline. Okay. What is that? See, my first pipeline. Done. Select continue. See, your pipeline is ready. Trigger pool steps script. I told you the syntax, right? The syntax is trigger pool job task scripts or job task steps. I can change this. I can change this. If you want, you can see the chair. Agent job. See. Why I am doing all this, I will explain you tomorrow. For now, let us run this. Okay, now let me do this. name, build job. చూడడానికి ఎంత ఈజీనో రాయడం అంత కష్టం. Wait a minute. So job display name. Even till today, I'm getting confused with this syntax. Display name. Am I right? It should be display name. Here it will be agent job. My God. Then steps, display name, then script. Echo. Wait a minute. Something is wrong here. See, so bad indentation. Here also bad indentation. String does not match the pattern. Okay. This is string. String does not match the pattern. A lot of issues. So here cannot read a block mapping entry. A multi-line key may not be an implicit key. Something going wrong here. To avoid this, let me delete this script. Yeah. Okay. Now I have only one step. The script says echo hello world. Now save and run. See. Now if you remember, let me show you. Yeah. Okay. Repo sample. YAML pipeline. So while creating the pipeline, I took this YAML file. Okay, I took this YAML file, but I modified something in the pipeline creation. Now I am committing the same change. That means whatever I am doing as part of my pipeline modification, those changes will be implemented in this pipeline file only. Now let me show you. So okay, save and run. Okay, save and run. Let it be save and run. Now here if you see, this file will have, it's not changed, right? If I refresh this file, see the file content is completely modified. See, the file content is completely modified. So whatever you are doing as part of your pipeline work, all the changes will definitely come to this file. So whenever you take this file will have the latest changes of the pipeline. This file will have the latest changes of the pipeline. So you may be working in the pipeline category. You are modifying something here under pipelines. But whenever you want to run, you need to save. The save will go to this file. Now if you see the history, so there is 2 commits. Compare. Now if you see these are the compare. See, earlier there is an extra script. Now the complete script was deleted. Before there are no jobs, now jobs are added. So YAML pipeline will help you to track the changes of your pipeline without going into pipelines category. Why? Because your pipeline will be saved as a file to your repository. In future, someone takes your repository. Obviously, they will get your pipeline. But if you remember in our previous activity, if you want to give this pipeline to some other people, Okay, if I want to pass on this pipeline to my other engineers, what I did, I went to the pipeline. So what I did, guys, I went to the pipeline. Then I went for exporting this pipeline. See, exporting this pipeline. So if you create classic pipelines and if you want to pass on this pipeline to some other people, yes, it is possible, but for that you need to export either to JSON or YAML. Then you need to give them, hey man, here is the pipeline. See, here is the pipeline. Now you need to give this file to some other people. Then only they will see the pipeline. But if you create the pipeline in YAML, the pipeline will get committed to automatically to the repository. The pipeline will get committed to automatically to the repository. So you no need to pass on it manually. Whenever they clone the repository, they will obviously get the pipeline as well in YAML format. Okay. Now let's see the run. The run might have succeeded. Yeah, succeeded. మనం pipeline run చేశాంగా. See now, see the jobs. జాబ్ పేరు ఏమని ఇచ్చాను నేను? బిల్డ్ జాబ్ అని ఇచ్చాను కదా. సో జాబ్ పేరు బిల్డ్ జాబ్ అని ఇచ్చాను కాబట్టి అది బిల్డ్ జాబ్ లా కనపడుతుంది. సో ఇన్సైడ్ బిల్డ్ జాబ్ ఎన్ని స్టెప్స్ ఉన్నాయి? ఒకే స్టెప్ ఉంది. రన్ ఏ వన్ లైన్ స్క్రిప్ట్. సి రన్ ఏ వన్ లైన్ స్క్రిప్ట్. ఆ స్క్రిప్ట్ అవుట్పుట్ ఏంటి? ఎకో హలో వరల్డ్. హలో వరల్డ్. దట్స్ ఇట్. So now my complete pipeline was turned into one single file and the file is always available for me within the repository. Within the repository. Now why I am giving these spaces? Why I am giving these spaces? Now let me show you why the spaces are very, very important in YAML. Now if I go for editing this pipeline, okay, if I go for editing this pipeline, I will give you one extra space or I will remove one extra space. See, I will remove one extra space. Okay, extra space only నేను remove చేశాను. Now I will save this. Save. Done. Now if I go to the pipelines, so pipeline run అవుతుంది. Fail అయిపోయింది. Already fail అయిపోయింది. See, first run success అయింది, fail అయింది. So why it got failed? While parsing a block collection, did not find expected indicator. There is something error, but ఈ ఎర్రర్ చూస్తే మీకేం అర్థం కాదు. So when it says parsing, why? Because this YAML pipeline was written in code, right? So if there is something wrong in this code, wait a minute. Yeah. So if there is something wrong in this code, you need to understand what is wrong. You see, you need to understand what is wrong. So to understand the wrong, we have something called YAML validator. It's an online tool, YAML validator. See, this is called YAML lint. So YAML validator, if you search for YAML validator, you will see this link. So YAML lint. ఇందులో మీరు రాసిన YAML కోడ్ కాపీ పేస్ట్ చేస్తే, so here is the pipeline, right? Okay. Control C, Control V. Go. Valid YAML. Oh, ఇది సెట్ చేసాడు, ఇది మరీ దారుణం. మొత్తం మాడిఫై చేసాడు వీడు. సో నేను ఇలా కాపీ పేస్ట్ చేశాను, చేయగానే కొన్ని ఎర్రర్స్ కనపడ్డాయి. ఆ ఎర్రర్స్ అన్ని వాడే మాడిఫై చేసి నాకు ఫైల్ ఇస్తున్నాడు. చూడు, ఇఫ్ ఐ గో విత్ గో, వాడు మొత్తం మాడిఫై చేసాడు. అరే నీ ఫైల్ రాంగ్ ఉందిరా, యాక్చువల్గా ఈ ఫైల్ ఇలా ఉండాలిరా అని. దిస్ ఈజ్ రాంగ్. అందుకే అది నచ్చదు. సో దెర్ ఈస్ ఎ సపరేట్ వెబ్సైట్ కాల్ YAML validator. లెట్ మీ షో యూ. సో లెట్ మీ షో యూ. Yes. So you can use any tool, but whenever you see these errors, see there are some errors, right? So to clear those errors, copy this code, paste it here. Now it says validate YAML. Okay, I am validating this YAML. See, validate YAML, man. It is valid. No, I don't accept this. See, indentation problem. Line number 12, display name. See here, line number 12, display name. Now validate YAML. This is valid YAML. Okay, now then another space, validate YAML. Unable to parse. Why? Because there is an extra space. This space would not be there. If I give extra space, now if I remove the space, validate YAML, valid YAML. If I remove this space, validate YAML, still valid. Huh? Okay. There are something that I need to make sure. See, indentation problem. Line number 11, script. సో ఈ స్క్రిప్ట్ ఎక్కడ ఉండాలంటే బేసిక్గా స్టెప్స్ తర్వాత ఉండాలి, కానీ స్క్రిప్ట్ కన్నా స్టెప్స్ కన్నా ముందు ఉంది. సో నేను ఇప్పుడు ఈ లైన్ అన్నా తోసేయాలి స్టెప్స్ తర్వాతకి, లేదా స్టెప్స్నే ఆ లైన్ కన్నా ముందుకు తీసుకురావాలి. సో ఇఫ్ ఐ గో ఫర్ వ్యాలిడేట్ YAML, సో యూ కెన్ నాట్ డిఫైన్ ఏ మ్యాపింగ్ ఐటమ్ వెన్ ఇన్. ఓకే, సారీ, ఇది ఇక్కడ ఉండాలి. యా, నౌ ఇట్ ఈస్ వ్యాలిడ్ YAML. చూసారా, చిన్న స్పేస్, చిన్న స్పేస్, ఒక్క స్పేస్ మార్చాను, వ్యాలిడేట్ YAML. It's also it's valid YAML. Let's see. Just with single space. Now it is wrong YAML. If I give single space, validate YAML, it is valid YAML. So నేను ఎందుకు ఇనిషియల్ డేస్ లో ఎక్కువ మీకు క్లాసిక్ పైప్ లైన్ ప్రిఫర్ చేశాను, YAML ఎందుకు ప్రిఫర్ చేయలేదు? ఒక రోజులో నేర్చుకుంటే వచ్చేది కాదు YAML. ఓకేనా, ఒక రోజులో నేర్చుకుంటే వచ్చేది కాదు YAML. సో YAML హ్యాస్ మెనీ థింగ్స్ విత్ ఇన్ దిస్. సో YAML హ్యాస్ మెనీ థింగ్స్. ఒక చిన్న స్పేస్ కానీ. So the best part is it will display you. See, duplicate key. It says the display name is duplicate key. What I need to do, I need to give space. See now, ikkadunna error poyindi. See, ila pedutunte duplicate key antundi. Ikkada nenu space ivangaane ఆ ఎర్రర్ పోయింది. సో ఇక్కడ ఎర్రర్ పోయింది, గుడ్. కానీ ఇక్కడ ఎర్రర్ ఇంకా ఉంది. ఇక్కడ ఎర్రర్ ఏంటి? బ్యాడ్ ఇండెంటేషన్. ఓకే, బ్యాడ్ ఇండెంటేషన్. నో వాట్ ఐ నీడ్ టు డూ, ఇఫ్ ఐ గివ్ వన్ ఎక్స్ట్రా స్పేస్, మొత్తం అన్ని ఎర్రర్ క్లియర్ అయిపోయినాయి. There are no errors in this page. There are no errors in this page. Now this pipeline is clear and it's good to run. Now if you remember, so my previous pipeline is failed. Now if I save this, save. Now if I go to pipelines, it will run automatically. It is running automatically. Okay, I created two pipelines. Okay, consider this pipeline. Now it is running. Obviously, it will run successfully. Why? Because there are no errors in the YAML file. When there are no errors in the YAML file means there are no errors in the pipeline. Our pipeline itself is created as a YAML file. When you fix the errors in the YAML file, which is nothing but fixing the errors in the build. First build success అయింది, YAML file clear గా ఉంది కాబట్టి. సెకండ్ బిల్డ్ ఫెయిల్ అయింది, YAML file clear గా లేదు కాబట్టి. తర్వాత ఆ ఎర్రర్స్ చూసి మనం ఫిక్స్ చేసాం. సో పైప్లైన్ రన్ సక్సీడెడ్. Now if you see, if I go to history, so there are 4 commits. మనం ఆ ఫైల్ 4 సార్లు మాడిఫై చేసాం. ఫస్ట్ ఫైల్ క్రియేట్ చేసాం. ఓకేనా, ఫస్ట్ ఫైల్ క్రియేట్ చేసినప్పుడు స్క్రిప్ట్ చాలా ఉండేది, ఎక్స్ట్రా స్క్రిప్ట్ ఉంది. Then I go for second commit. Let me go to commits. Not this one. I would like to go to files and commits. Files Here history, there are 4 commits. First file, tarata success, tarata file failure, tarata success. Okay, here if you see, nothing modified. Yeah, something. Clear on YAML? Definitely it is not clear on YAML, I know. ఒక రోజులో ఒక సెషన్లో YAML అర్థమైపోయిందంటే గ్రేట్నెస్ మీదేమో కానీ చెప్పిన నాది గ్రేట్నెస్ అవుతుంది అప్పుడు. Okay, so this is how we create YAML pipelines. So why we prefer YAML, why we are creating YAML, and why people are going with YAML, we will see next session. This is all about basics of YAML. What is YAML, how to create YAML, and what if there is syntax error in the YAML file. Okay, so the next version of YAML we will see tomorrow.
Rajesh, ఒకసారి మీరు మాట్లాడండి.
Yeah.